So y'all know that my chest is my best body part when it comes to size and strength. So for a change of pace on the channel, I wanted to rank 10 total calisthenics chest exercises that I have all done in my training journey, to rank them for y'all in a tier list to see which ones are absolutely the best and which ones are the worst. I've gotten 10 exercises that I've all done within the past 6 years, and pretty frequent as well, so I know which one really does work and which one is not really worthy of putting into your routine. So with that being said, let's get into the first exercise, and that is going to be weighted dips. Now, as y'all know, I'm a weighted dip fanatic. Weighted dips is, in my opinion, the best exercise that somebody could get into. Does that mean that it's automatically gonna go to S tier? Probably. But let me make a case a little bit. The weighted dip alone is absolutely a great chest builder, especially when it comes to the stretch that you have in the bottom and the squeeze that you have at the top. It's also very effective for overloading. So you can add a rep every single training session. You can add multiple sets, and you can add weight very easily through a weight belt or a weight vest. Speaking of a weight belt and a weight vest, go check out Gore Nation for the best calisthenics products out there in the industry right now, and use code BARS10 to get 10% off your order. So I definitely think the weighted dip is one of the best exercises that you can get into for your chest. The only complaint that I have with it, and this is something that I've experienced myself, the weighted dip is a great overall chest movement, but it kind of neglects the upper chest. And yes, it does build the entire chest, but we all know that it's heavily dominant in the lower chest area. And as you've probably been seeing with me, or maybe you haven't, but I have been experiencing that my upper chest started lacking a little bit because I started only focusing on weighted dips, and the dips is dominantly a lower chest exercise. But I still think that it deserves the king tier, aka S tier. So let's put it in S tier. And now let's move on to the bodyweight dip. So when it comes to the bodyweight dip, again, it basically targets the same muscles with the weighted dip, obviously, but the bodyweight aspect changes the conversation a little bit. When we purely talking about a muscle building standpoint, it is gonna be very possible for you, because I did it myself, to build a big chest with just bodyweight dips. I do think that when you start focusing on the bodyweight dip, especially as a beginner, and you start progressively overloading with the reps and the sets, as well as the tempo of the reps, the variation of dips that you can use, it is definitely also, in my opinion, a very good exercise. But one downside I have with it is that after a little while, it's gonna become very hard to overload and to progressively overload with it. So let's say you're like me and you're on 50 reps a set, 60 reps, 70 reps a set. It's gonna be very hard to overload after a little while to build muscle, to keep building muscle. I know some great calisthenics athletes in the industry who still use bodyweight dips, and they are at the top of the game. They're way more advanced than me, but even them have admitted that adding weighted dips in there is always the next step after you have mastered the bodyweight dip. So just sticking to the bodyweight dip will bring you very far, but do I think that it's as effective as the weighted dip? No. So for that reason, we're gonna put it in A tier. Then we have the weighted push-up. So this is the regular weighted push-up, whether it's with a plate on your back or with a weighted vest. There are some differences. Now, when it comes to the regular push-up, I think that you cannot skip push-ups when you're a calisthenics athlete and you want to train your chest. I definitely think that you should always add push-ups in there, because when you overload the push-up properly, especially with weighted push-ups, you can absolutely get the best bang for your buck ever when it comes to chest growth. As you can see, my chest has always been the dominant part because I've been spamming push-ups for literally the past 6 years. And the reason why my chest has gotten so big is because I've mixed it with high reps, which we're gonna get into later, but also weighted calisthenics. Now, there is a couple of downsides for weighted push-ups. Number one, it's gonna become very hard to actually overload with weighted push-ups. Yes, you can add a bunch of plates on your back, but it's gonna kind of limit the scapular movement, and it's gonna kind of limit the range of motion that you have. Now, when you do them on parallettes, that doesn't even matter, because when you have a plate on your back, it's still going to be limiting the range of motion. At some point, your elbows or your triceps are going to hit the plate, and you can't go deeper no more, even if you have parallettes and you're doing a deficit push-up. So I definitely think it is a good chest movement. It is basically elite. When it comes to the overloading aspect of it, it can definitely be difficult. You also have this variation where you do it on a barbell and you have your weights basically hanging from a belt, but that's also very hard to set up, and it takes a lot of time, and the weight starts swinging. So for the overload purposes, it's not the best, but we're still gonna put it in A tier because it's one of my favorites. Next up, we have the ring push-ups. Now, this is not the deficit push-up, weighted ring push-up, whatever. This is just a regular ring push-up. Now, in my opinion, the ring push-up is better than the regular push-up to build muscle, and it's arguably better even than the weighted dip, purely for chest hypertrophy purposes. It is literally absolutely elite. I'm already gonna put it in the S tier because it is such a good exercise. You cannot go wrong with this exercise. When you're properly overloading on this exercise, body weight or weighted, you're never gonna miss out on chest gains. You're gonna take all the chest gains up off the table, because there is not gonna be anybody who has a good weighted push-up, like he can do a lot of reps or a lot of weighted push-ups and has a small chest. There is no way. The reason why is because the stability factor of the weighted push-up, the ring push-up, excuse me, is so fucking amazing. You can't miss out. Like, there is no way you're not going to see chest progress if you do ring push-ups. Now, I definitely suggest you eventually overloading the ring push-up, because after a little while, if you've been doing your 3 sets of 12 on regular ring push-ups, yeah, you're gonna have to overload, my boy. You're gonna have to put your feet elevated. You're gonna have to, add some weight up on yourself. Maybe do them slower. Maybe even go deeper on the ring push-up. And that way you will definitely get more bang for your buck. But the most effective thing about this exercise is first of all, the stability factor. Second off, the range of motion. You can literally go as deep as you want. And you can be on the verge of tearing your chest off and then pushing back up and squeezing your chest as hard as you can by moving the rings together. Bro, it is perfect. Absolutely perfect exercise. It's going in the S tier. Then we have the diamond push-up. Definitely think it's a good exercise. Is it a really good chest exercise though? First off, it's a push-up, so it's going to be effective anyways. But is it a really good chest exercise to get chest growth from it? First of all, let's talk about some downsides about the diamond push-up. For a lot of people, it causes a lot of strain on the wrist, right? And I've been experiencing the same thing. I have to have like a good floor. Most of the time it's concrete where my hands really won't slip, to have a good diamond push-up platform to do them on. Second thing, the stretch on the chest is really not that optimal. And I don't want to be no science-based junkie, but the stretch on that diamond push-up when it comes to the chest is really not prominent. It's really not there, bro. So I don't really suggest you doing diamond push-up mainly for your chest. I actually suggest you doing diamond push-up for your triceps, because for the triceps, they are extremely effective when it comes to the stretch and the squeeze up top. But when it comes to a pure chest exercise, don't really use it and expect you to get the most bang for your buck. Yes, the squeeze on top is absolutely great because the hands are close, but the squeeze is a little bit less important than the stretch when it comes to your chest, and especially when it comes to growth. So for that reason, we're gonna put this in C tier. That brings us to the next push-up variation, and that's gonna be the decline push-up. Now, the decline push-up is one of my favorite exercises to hit the upper chest, and it definitely does a good job. And the beautiful thing about the decline push-up is that it allows for more range of motion. The reason why is because our lower chest, and this is for everybody, this is an objective truth, our lower chest is always bigger, right? Our lower chest is going to be bigger than our upper chest because there's just more muscle stored there. So when you're doing a regular push-up, you're gonna hit the ground faster with your lower chest than with a decline push-up. With the decline push-up, you have way more range of motion. When you are doing a decline push-up and you're gonna go all the way down until your upper chest hits the floor, you're gonna feel a deep stretch, just like you would with an incline bench press or an incline Smith machine press. So I definitely think that it is an amazing exercise to use. The overloading aspect of it, it is a little bit difficult to overload. When you put plates on your back, they can kind of fall off, especially if you're doing a pretty high decline. They can hit your head and shit. I've had experiences where I was doing decline push-up with, plates, and the plates just literally slid up to my head and banged it in the back of my head. So it's not really that effective for overloading it. You can of course use a weight vest and then use a deficit to get deeper stretch and to go very heavy on that way. But it is very difficult to overload after a little while. But it is still a great exercise, so we're gonna put it in A tier. That brings us to some more dip variations. So let's get into it. Next up, we have the ring dip. My boy, for the past 2 to 3 weeks, I have been implementing weighted ring dips, supersetted with bodyweight ring dips. I always do them after each other because I just love the burn of them. I think this is the most effective dip variation that is in here. You cannot go wrong with the regular weighted ring dip or bodyweight ring dip. The chest squeeze at the top is absolutely immense, especially when you supinate your wrist outwards or when you actually do a sort of fly motion. When you bring the arms together, you can get a great chest squeeze. and the stretch on the bottom is absolutely insane because you can literally go how deep you want to go. You can go as deep as you would like to go on this. Like, there's no limit. There's no limit. If you put the rings very high up on the bar and your feet won't touch the ground until you basically snap your shoulders, you can go as deep as you want to and get the most insane chest stretch that you have ever had in your life. So for that reason, it definitely deserves to be on the S tier, and it's very easy to overload. You can easily add weighted elements to this exercise with a weight vest or with a weight belt, and it won't really be a whole struggle with it. You can add weight very easily and overload just like any other exercise. Then we have arguably the greatest push-up exercise in the human history of chest exercises, and I think it beats every single push-up exercise in the world. I think it beats every single chest exercise in weightlifting. It is the deficit weighted ring push-up. Now guys, before we get into this, I'm gonna automatically slide this in at the S tier because this is the best exercise that humanity has ever seen for their chest. Let me tell you something about this exercise, okay? When it comes to the deficit aspect of it, which is basically a decline, you put your feet elevated and you basically have no restrictions when it comes to the range of motion. You can go all the way up and of course squeeze your chest until it fucking bursts. You can go all the way down until your chest hit the ground, which most of y'all won't even be able to complete without letting your chest tear up. And the weighted aspect is super easy to overload, bro. You can add a weight vest, which I've been doing with 45 pounds. And I've been doing 3 sets of 11 to 12 to 15 twice a week now. And it has been such a great exercise for my chest. I'm always sore after this exercise. It targets every single one of the chest muscles that you have. It targets your upper chest, your lower chest, mid chest. The stretch, there's no limit to the stretch. There's no limit to the squeeze. Everything is perfect about this exercise, as well as a stability factor that you have to take into account when you're doing this exercise. It is the perfect exercise. It's going in S tier right away. People, by the way, if you haven't been doing the ring deficit weighted push-up, I highly suggest you go get into it right now, because for the people who have lagging chest or their chest is hard to grow, it's starving, whatever the fuck, use this exercise into your routine. The moment you train chest, I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. You will absolutely not be disappointed. It is not hard to overload. It is very easy to actually add weight to this with a weighted vest, and most of y'all won't even need a weighted vest or won't even need weights for years or months because you're good with the body weight. It's that difficult. That takes us to the bodyweight high rep push-ups. Now we're specifically talking about high rep. In the high rep calisthenics world, in the endurance world, right? The bodyweight push-up is of course one of the staples. Everybody knows the bodyweight push-up. Everybody has implemented it. Everybody has gotten results from it because we all know the bodyweight push-up high reps is very effective for chest growth. Do I think there are some limitations? Absolutely. If we're not taking variations into account, I do believe that this exercise is very limiting. I believe that you'll be better off doing weighted dips and ring push-ups for more variation of the chest and get more results that way. But if you're only going to be sticking, let's say you have no equipment and you're only going to be sticking to the bodyweight push-up for high reps, you can still gain a lot of results with it. The results is going to be a little bit slower, so it's going to take a little bit longer for you to get a real big chest with this, and it's also very hard to overload. After you have hit a certain amount of reps, it's going to be very hard to actually put more stimulus onto the chest and to actually bring it to a new level. And the range of motion is all right, but we can do better. We can do way better when it comes to the rings and when it comes to the parallettes and deficits, all that other stuff. So I definitely think it is a very good exercise, but it can definitely be improved through certain other variations that we have on this list. So let's put it in B tier for that reason. Then we have the last exercise, and this is one of my least favorite. I'm going to be very honest. It is the bar dip, the straight bar dip. There are very good aspects of this exercise. Like the stretch on the bottom can be very good if you already have a very good strength base, which is actually a downside. Most people who start off calisthenics right away cannot do this exercise very properly. They're going to go down to the belly button, and that's basically the only range of motion they use. It is an effective exercise for your chest. It's going to target your lower chest quite well, especially on that top squeeze, and the bottom stretches pretty well if you have a good strength base. But the stability factor is a little bit fucked up because a lot of times the weight of your legs kind of wants to pull you down or let you fall backwards. Now if you have been experiencing with muscle ups, you're kind of good at that. It's not really a problem. For me, it's not a problem. I could do 30, 40 bar bar dips in one set straight without a problem, right? But if you're a beginner, I don't think this should be into your routine because the stability on the bar is kind of awkward. A lot of times you fall backwards and it's really not effective for hypertrophy in that way. So I don't think it should be into your routine right away. You can definitely implement it while combining it with muscle ups and pull-ups. Then you have a great exercise on your hands, but you would rather off be doing supinated bar dips because you lean more over the bar that way, and it's a little bit more effective for overall chest development because you're literally mimicking a supinated Sphinx pseudo push-up, but then on a bar. So it's very effective that way. But when we're talking about the regular bar dip, I don't think it should be into your routine all that often, except for when you're mixing it up with muscle ups and pull-ups and doing sets on the bar, basically, right? The endurance style, which you see me doing right here. So for that reason, it's gonna go in F tier, bro. For a primarily chest growth exercise, no, this is an F tier and you should not really use it into your routine. So yeah, those were the 10 exercises. I appreciate you for watching. Let me know in the comments where I got it right and where I got it wrong. Where would you change this tier list up? If you want me to do more of these, I'll do one for every single body part if y'all want to. And let's get some chest gains, baby. Check out the link in the description. Go ahead and go to the Gore Nation website right now and grab some of your calisthenics equipment to make your chest grow faster. Grab your rings, grab your parallettes, grab your weight vest, grab the weight belt to be able to increase the range of motion, increase the weight load, whatever the fuck you want to do. Use the code BARS10 to get 10% off your order, and let's get fucking jacked in 2025. And as always, make the sacrifice and stay resilient.